Summer. Yeah, a lot of people were like telling me on Twitter, they're like, "Hey, we can't make it. We live in France." I'm like, "Well, that makes it difficult to get to San Diego. Can we watch it online?" I said, "Yeah, we're gonna live stream it." Oh, and we're go. I see two red lights. I'm assuming that means we're on. We're live. Um, well, maybe we should. Should we say hi to France? Should we say hi to the world? On three, I want to say everybody say hi, world. One, two, three. Hi, world. See, that feels good, right? It's almost like the Mickey Mouse Club, but like even better. Or Romper Room. I see Stacy and Brian. Anybody watch Romper Room? Am I? No? All right, thank you. um, literally, sometimes like with technology and how fast it moves or whatever, like we sell our little like cassette tape iPhone covers. Have you guys seen those? Anybody own those? That's kind of a cool one. I don't know what that is. It's a pink heart or something. That's nice. Almost looks like a butt. I don't. You're like, yes, it's a butt. I don't know why you'd want that on your phone. I'm kidding. Don't worry about it. But I've shown that cassette. Like I think it's awesome, because I was born in 1980, and that's my thing. But I show it to like somebody's like 16. They're like, what's that? What's that thing? It used to have music on it. That's how you used to listen to music. You'd make your girlfriend a mixtape. Come on, give me a break. All right, I've vamped long enough. So thank you again so much for being at the Nerd HQ. Thank you guys for supporting us at the Nerd Machine. Thank you guys so much for raising money for kids. I think it's all a big, big win-win for all of us. And one of the coolest things I wanted to do was just offer you a really intimate, and as you can see, this is a pretty intimate setting to ask people that you know and love from television and film and whatever, just the burning questions that are on your minds and hearts, and not just give you 5 or 10 minutes left over at the end of a moderated session. There is no moderator. I might be sitting over there heckling, if anything, because I do. Yeah, right. Yeah, but to have an hour for you guys to just ask whatever you want. Like I think San Diego Comic-Con is especially about the fans. That's why we're here. So without further ado. I'm not going to give you any of the credits because honestly, you all know why you're here and you all know who you're here for. So please give a warm Nerd HQ welcome for Dominic Monaghan, ladies and gentlemen. Dominic! Monaghan! Thank you so much, buddy. Where's your Man U jersey?
We'd have to do it in order.
All right. It gets a little warm up here, so you might be showing it.
What's happening?
Dominic, go for it.
I'm just sat in the back there talking to Elijah, and then Zach goes, "Dominic Monaghan, everyone." I'm like, "Wait, is that me?" What the fuck? All right, so first impressions last. So I wore a jacket inside because first impressions last, right? But then other impressions last too. So I got to rock the Manchester United.
Yeah. By the way, Dominic.
I figure I'd give Ryan Giggs a little bit of love because, he's had a tough time recently. Well, lots of things have gone on with him. How's everyone doing?
And Dominic, keep in mind you are streaming live to the world, so everyone in Manchester can see this
hey,
right
what's
now.
up? No one in Manchester is going to be watching this right now. So I thought I'd tell you guys a little bit about my Comic-Con experience before sitting down and taking questions, because there's something amazing about being in a situation where people know who you are, because then those people who are, your heroes or you idolize, you can actually have a bit of an interaction with them. So I saw Stan Lee in a lift or an elevator for some reason last night, and he's walking around with a little crew of people, 5 or 6 people in his entourage, and he gets in a lift, and everyone's like, "Oh, Stan Lee," and he recognizes this guy who he was at some party with in 1975. I was born in 76, so I'm really bad with maths, but I was able to very quickly go, wait, 35 years ago, because I'm 34. And I was really impressed with that. And then he said, I said hello and introduced myself, and he said to me, "Who's your favorite character that I've created?" That was pretty wild. And I went, I like Spider-Man, because Spider-Man essentially wears a Manchester United outfit all the time. And he went, "Oh, I like the Hulk." And I thought, that's cool that you actually have your own level of likes with the characters that you've created. I thought that was kind of rad. But he was cool. He was really he's really on it, and I kind of figured at that age you'd be a little frail and a little, like, well, I have to go to bed and drink chamomile tea and get rubbed on. But no, he was out at this party with a whole bunch of young people doing his thing, which was kind of cool. Does anyone tweet? So do you all want to do the same tweet? I thought that would be kind of fun. So everyone go to the little tweeting thing. What do you call it? Tweeting page. Twitterer. Everyone get ready to Twitterer. Everyone ready to tweet? Everyone imminently about to Twitter? You all about to tweet now? All right, ready? Wait. Let me know when you're ready to type something, because I'm at my page. I'm just going to... Who's ready? All right, so, right. I spend entirely... If anyone has any problems spelling the word entirely, don't ask me. I spend entirely too much time tweeting. I don't really tweet. It was a joke. I'm not sure about that tweeting thing. I don't like. I feel like there's too much news anyway. Like there's way too much news out there, and now we're making things that aren't really newsworthy. Like even like the stuff that people who you're interested in do is boring. Like we already know what Barack Obama's doing, and now he's tweeting telling us that he's heading to the West Wing, or he's in the Oval Office. Like I don't understand that tweeting thing. It's kind of, it passed me by, that thing. But I did say this yesterday, and this is a good thing for you guys to keep in mind. So I don't have a what do you call it? A tweet account, a Twitter account. I don't have a Twitter account, but there's a lot of It's Elijah laughing. Thanks, Lige. I don't have a Twitter account, but there's a lot of fake Dominic Twitter accounts out there. So all these people that are saying stuff, like there's some guy a few months ago saying, I just picked up a couple of girls on Hollywood Boulevard. We all know what that means. And then I went home and did drugs all night. Now, I didn't do that. I was probably, doing my homework or, reading lines or something, So I get a little offended when people make up nonsense about me. And I don't have a MySpace account, and I don't have anyone pretending to be Dominic Monaghan on Facebook's not me, because I'm on Facebook, but I'm not on as Dominic Monaghan. And it is a little kind of disturbing and freaky when people pretend that they're you and do stuff. So if anyone asks, just let people know that I don't have any of that social networking stuff going on. There's some guy in London pretending to be me, meeting girls in the centre of London, pretending to be me, which is like so dangerous, because like I'm sure this guy was probably nice, or maybe he wasn't. But pretending to be me and meeting girls is like scary, because what if something happened and then I don't know. It's just it's a little crazy, that stuff. How's everyone's Comic-Con? You guys all enjoying yourself? You guys managed to make it down here after the Carmageddon thing. What was that about? I didn't understand that either. Yeah, it was like a load of nonsense, wasn't it? It actually turned out to be nothing. And I also thought that the news channels missed a trick, because what I thought they should have done was, because nowadays news isn't about, news is supposed to be, as the amazing Bill Hicks says, news is supposed to be the news. It's supposed to be reporting the news. But, news nowadays is all about ratings and, making people watch CNN instead of watching Fox. But I thought what some of the news channels should have done was not say anything about Carmageddon. Just do a total news blackout. And then on the day of Carmageddon, just report that cars are just driving off the 405. Ladies and gentlemen, you join us here live at the 405, and there's just hundreds of cars driving off the end of a bridge in some mass lemming car suicide. That would have made great ratings, but... So that was Carmageddon. And then what was that? I wrote all this down on my hand. One more thing that I want to talk to you guys about, which I've been doing recently. and it's really fun, but it's a little annoying. But it's one of those things that like, it's like when you have a cut in your mouth and you know that you're not supposed to go anywhere near it, but you keep going, and you make it worse. So I really like Rihanna. I think she's like, cute and like her music and stuff like that. But I really have a hard time with her when there's any kind of shower in America. Because this is what happens, right? It starts raining, so I'm in my house. I look outside and go, oh, it's raining. And then a minute or so later, without me even thinking about it, I go, oh, it's raining. Oh, baby, it's raining. Come into me. Come into me. Oh, baby, it's raining. Looking around for what I need for when it's raining. And then the inevitable thing happens where I go, oh, now I got it. Umbrella, umbrella, umbrella. Ella, hey, under my umbrella, Ella, which is annoying, it's a great song, but it's like the catchiest thing in the world and you can't avoid it. So next time it's raining, just remember that line, oh baby, it's raining. And then for the rest of the day, you won't be able to avoid but sing that song, which is a great tune, but man, it just doesn't leave your mind. So that was my Comic-Con, Carmageddon, Rihanna experience for you guys. What else should we talk about? Anyone in Manchester United fan here? Oh, who's a football fan here? Who likes English Premier League football? So, are you all United fans, or do you support other teams? Get out. I'm just kidding. It'll be an exciting season next season. I really like what's happening in America. There's been like a little bit of a groundswell with, the Women's World Cup was great, and the standards getting much better, and you guys were a little unlucky. The interesting thing about American soccer or American football, but not that armored catch thing that you guys play, is you guys always come off the blocks really quick and really fast and really enthusiastic. You tend to score first. You run around like chickens with their heads cut off. But, excuse me, you can't close for some reason. You can't close the game out. I don't know what that's about. Like you were beating Brazil 2-0, the men were. You were beating Brazil 2-0 a couple of years ago. 2-0 against Brazil. That's amazing. You should have just shut it down at that point. And you ended up getting beat 4-2 by Brazil in the second half because you just couldn't. You can't close. And I'm not sure what that's about. There's something missing in the American football playing psyche where I think probably because different parts of the world have been playing it a little bit longer, they realise that it's so difficult to score a goal that if you score one or certainly two, you should just change the way you play now and just defend. But America no, we want to score 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 goals and break the record and stuff like that. So anyway, anyone have a question? Or should I just go? No one has a question. Yeah. Oh no. Sorry. Hi. I saw you yesterday. Yeah, we hung out yesterday at some panel. My mic's not on. I'm just shouting really loud.
Check, 1, 2.
Right.
We were mentioning Stan Lee and the characters that he created and which one he liked best. So you've created a lot of characters. I love the diversity that you have in your career. So who's your favorite character that you've put together and played for us?
I'm not sure if you can answer that question for me. Well, that's really sweet of you to say. The first thing I should probably say is I don't create the characters. The characters are created, and then I try and bring a little bit of life to them. So I mean, if you take case in point, Mary, that was a fully formed character. That was a character that had attributes to their personality that didn't change, and a really fully fleshed character. So that's nice that I can take a little bit of credit for it, but also the writers and the creators made those characters first and foremost. Someone asked me this yesterday, and I think I'm probably going to give the same answer. There's a few characters that I played in the theatre. Hello, ladies, come on in. Hi. Did you go to McDonald's beforehand? There's a few characters that I played in the theatre when I was 19 or 20 that I really, really loved. And I might have a different affection for them now because I've only played them for, 6 to 8 weeks and then just stopped and never played them again. Whereas, Mary and Charlie kind of like bleed into my life a lot more. But yeah, I did a play called The Resurrectionists, which was about these two kids who had no money and they ended up digging up coffins and selling the remains and clothes and jewelry that were inside coffins. And that was a really fun character because it was probably the first time I played anyone with any sense of darkness to them. Up until that point, I'd usually played kind of sweet little cherub characters. So that was fun. And then out of the stuff that you guys know, I really like playing. Oh, my back. I really like playing Simon in Flash Forward last year because nice, 7 people watched it. Love it. Because I made a real definite decision after Charlie to play an out and out bad person that was going to be probably disliked by all you guys. You guys potentially tuned into the show thinking, oh, here's Dom, and we've up until now we've liked some of the stuff that he's done, so we're going to check out what he's doing next. And I thought, how's that going to be when they see me play a character that doesn't have a lot of nice elements to his personality and doesn't have a lot of well, he does have charisma, but it's a dark charisma, So that was really fun because then on the street, people would be cool about it. They'd say, "Oh, he's a real bad guy, but we like him," or you do well at playing a bad guy, or we never thought that you could do something that bad, but it's really good. So I got a lot of satisfaction from switching it up and hopefully potentially having you guys come along for the ride. Because in my career, what I'm hoping to do is consistently do that. Play a good guy, you guys like it. Play a bad guy, you guys like it. Play a woman, you guys like it. I will play a woman. I just got I got a script which I kind of turned down because it was a little too hectic. I've got stuff on my trousers. I don't know what that is. It's in a really unfortunate spot as well. So what was I going to say then? Wait, what was I talking about? Anyone? Oh, that's right. Thanks. It's great when you've got people listening to you because then they can tell you what you've been talking about. So I got offered this script to play a brother and sister, but I turned it down because I didn't think I could do it as well as someone else could, and I didn't want to shave my legs. That's a true story. All right, thanks. That was a great question. Anyone else? While I clean this schmutz off my pants. Look at that! Look at that! I think it's a Mars bar or something, but I've not had a Mars bar. What's about? Hello? Just do some DIY on my trousers here. You won't mind if I rub my groin in front of you, will you? Come on now, settle down. Hello?
Yes, do you have a particular character or director or something that would be like your dream role that you would love to do?
It's gone now. Yeah, there's a lot of there's a hell of a lot of actors and directors that I'd love to work with. Just to reel off the list, Darren Aronofsky's probably at the top of the list for me. Paul Thomas Anderson, Michel Gondry, who Elijah worked with. Thanks, Elijah. He's always doing stuff before me, Michel Gondry would be great. I really like Shane Meadows. I like Michael Winterbottom. And then in terms of actors, Daniel Day-Lewis, Gary Oldman, Liam Neeson, Anthony Hopkins. There's a lot of British people there. Let me find an American. Matt Damon, Al Pacino, and Robert De Niro, who I think is probably going to go down as the greatest cinema actor of all time. I think there's that thing that happens when people are alive where they don't really get the full recognition that they deserve, And obviously, this is just me personally speaking, but I feel like Brando is a superb actor, but Brando's like one of the last theatrical actors that then started working in film. Whereas I felt like De Niro was the first ever cinematic actor, you know. Like Pacino's almost kind of theatrical as well. He does a lot more kind of theatrical stuff. He's love of Shakespeare and stuff. But it felt like De Niro was the first ever, like, I am a cinema actor and this is my medium. And I just think he's going to go down as the greatest actor of all time. So to do anything with that guy, like I would shine that guy's shoes, you know. In a scene, not just in real life. Be degrading. So it was filmmakers and actors, and then was that it? Dream role. You know, I really wanted to have a stab at the character that Ben Whishaw played really, really well in Perfume. I really wanted to have an audition for that, and they wouldn't see me because they said that my nose wasn't distinctive enough. That's not true. You know, I liked what De Niro did in Mean Streets as Johnny Boy. I thought that was a really cool character. I don't know, I'd like to play... There's a few things that I'd like to play. I'd like to play a clown, but a clown without makeup. You know, a clown that walks around and he's not doing his like performance at that point. I'd like to do that. And then I've kind of played a murderer, serial killer with Simon. Assassin's always kind of fun, you know. Professional surfer, Manchester United football player. I was before I did Rings, which is arguably, you know, the greatest job that I've ever had, and certainly the most influential, and probably the main reason why I'm still up here talking to you fantastic people. Before I did Rings, I was attached to a film based around the Busby Babes, and the Busby Babes was a very famous 1960s Manchester United team who, some of them tragically died in a plane crash. The team was in a plane crash, and I think something like 7 out of the 22 squad died, and I was linked to play this guy Eddie Coleman, who was a left winger and really fast and really good, and it was like the greatest role that I'd ever had. It was just a dream role for me, you know. And then the film fell through. We were doing football training in London, and everything was going well, and the film fell through, and I was just devastated, you know, like this was going to be the greatest thing I'd ever done. And then probably a month or two later, the Lord of the Rings things happened. So if I had got that role and the film would have gone, I could have never played Merry, which would never have, you know, brought me here singing about Rihanna to you guys. So sometimes, the things in your life that you think are a nightmare actually turn out to be great. Like, you know, spilling a Mars bar on my trousers actually made a wonderful amount of comedy for us all, you know, and I was annoyed about it for a while. Thanks. I'm not the boss.
Hi.
Hi.
Speaking of Lord of the Rings, I was wondering if you could maybe just talk about like a standout moment from that whole experience, like something that really stuck with you.
Yeah, I mean, the first time I slept with Elijah was pretty amazing. Finally quashing those gay rumors. Yeah, sleeping in trailers. No, we were so tight on that movie, it was just insane. I mean, we were all, we all had separate trailers, and we were all in each other's trailers without needing to be. Certainly Billy, Elijah, and I in Orlando when he was working, just all in each other's trailers, hanging out, watching movies, falling asleep, going and getting lunch for each other. And I think it was an amazing day, which was in the Fellowship of the Ring, where it's snowing and Billy gets the apple on his head, and the second breakfast thing. And that day we were out in the middle of nowhere, and it was, I think, the first stint of us being on location, so all the young guys were all kind of excited. Ooh, hotels and new stuff to do and new bars and stuff. And it started snowing, and it started really, really snowing, like snowing to the point where they had to eventually stop filming because it was too snowy. And we drove back in this blizzard, barely got back to the hotel, and we were all just really pumped up for some reason. I think because they'd given us a half day off work, and myself and Elijah and Vigo went outside, and Vigo had his camera, and he took a picture of me with a bottle of wine and a picture of Elijah, which ended up in a book of Vigo's. And then we all drank whiskey, and we all ran around town having a massive snowball fight, like with people in bars and stuff, you know, like running into bars and throwing snowballs, and then all the people in the bar would come out, and we'd have another snowball fight, and it was really, really fun. And then that just escalated into an evening of debauchery and you know, a great time. And that stands out as one of the first days of real excitement. And you know, a lot of the days were like that. There was never really bad days. The only bad days is when you're tired. But just speaking from my point of view, I never kind of was going into work thinking, oh, this job. You know, I was always like, oh, great, like I love this job. I'm a bit knackered because I should have got more sleep last night. But just one of those unbelievable experiences where you kind of keep pinching yourself, you know, and that's just the filming process. And then the whole, like, you know, parties, premieres, you know, it being received by the planet in a positive way. I remember being in a stretch limo close to Times Square with Lige and certainly Billy and Pete and a few other people. And Pete was saying to us, you know, this is because Pete's a huge Beatles fan, as we all are. Pete was saying to us, this is the closest we're ever going to feel to Beatlemania for a night, you know. And the Beatles had it for, like, you know, arguably when it all kicked off for them, for the first, like, 4 or 5 years of their professional career, it was Beatlemania, you know. And he said to us, this is what it's going to feel like to you know, experience Beatlemania. And then we flew to Japan, and it was just insane in Japan, you know, like everyone just going crazy, and yeah, just stuff that you'll never forget, and you'll probably never be able to replicate again, you know. Thanks. Oh, stand up, my back is locking up. I've been playing football and I hurt my shoulder, and then it's like starting to move down into my hips and my back, so I'm going to stand up if that's all right. But I'll stand still.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm right here.
I like your back.
So, thank you. So, you talked about your favorite sort of encounter with another celebrity of sorts. What was your favorite Comic-Con related sort of fan experience, like with fans?
Well, the first time we came to Comic-Con was pretty wild, because I really had no idea what it was going to be. You know, I thought it was like a comic book convention, you know, and not a huge amount more than that, because what do you expect from the title? Comic convention. And then you realize that it's just this beast, you know. And I think that first year that we came down was with the first movie. I think did they show the footage from the cave troll stuff that year, or was that in Cannes? Yeah. Well, they showed something, and you're seeing some Rings related thing on a massive screen with people going mental, you know, and I think that was a really fun experience. And you know, there's like a progression. If you stay in any kind of like public field, there's a progression with your notoriety and the feeling on the streets and stuff. And I'd done a little bit of TV in England, and then a little bit of theatre, and started to do different TV and stuff. But I don't think it ever really reached a worldwide level. And then when Rings happened, you were just aware that things had like jumped up to a different level. And not only that, but you know, when, like, if it was just me, I'd get away with it. But then I was always hanging out with Bill and Lige and Vigo, and you know, there was times where even I thought, man, this must be surreal, because it's kind of surreal for me, because you'd be out for dinner with, you know, a wizard, an elf, 2 hobbits. Like, whoa. So that kind of stuff was really fun. Wait, what was your question? Fans? Yeah, did I answer it? Not really. We'll just rewind the tape. We'll just skip that whole question. Yeah, I mean, you know, getting letters from people that are really heartfelt and, you know, handwritten and go on for ages and talk about how stuff that you did, which to you was a great job and a really fun experience, actually affected them in a different way. You know, that's special to understand. I got some letter years ago, about like a year into doing Lost, from some girl. This long letter that said, it's not funny, but it's ironic, and sometimes irony makes me laugh. She wrote me this letter saying, you know, I really like your work and blah blah blah, and she said, I'm a cutter. You know, she like cut herself, and she said, I know you're a cutter too. Now I'm not a cutter, but so she sent me all these pictures, you know, of like her arms and stuff, like stuff that she'd done. And I don't know where she got it in her head that I did the same thing. And there was a part of me that thought, you know, maybe I should like get the makeup people to like put some fake cuts on me, and then send back a photo saying, yes, we are in the same gang. You know, I feel what you're feeling. I do the same thing that you do. Then I realized it was probably a bad idea. So I didn't do it. But it was such a sweet letter, because it went on and on forever saying, you know, like, you know, I got through these periods in my life by watching you and cutting my arms to ribbons. You know? And I thought, sweet. God, I hope she's not in the audience.
So you're obviously impacting culture with your acting and your art that way. If there's anything, and it obviously isn't counseling, but any way that you would impact culture, and not through acting, what would it be?
Well, listen, don't cut yourself, all right? Don't do it. It's not a good idea. You'll bleed out, and you'll do a dead thing. And, you know, it's not a good idea to do a dead thing. Can we rewind that bit of the tape as well? Well, you know, all these things are true. No, that's a great question. And I just sold a nature show to the BBC, which I'm going to do probably like 3 weeks or so of filming in October or November this year, and then another 3 weeks at the start of 2012, and then a little bit in the spring of 2012. And that show is all about my love of nature, my love specifically of insects, and my obsession with trying to turn people on to the idea that insects are not useless and pointless and gross and dirty and stingy and bitey and spreading disease. Yes, there's a cockroach in the audience. You know, because insects are the most important animal on the planet. There's more insects than there are people. For every one person on the planet, there are 4 insects. Every third animal on the planet is a beetle. In a square meter of farmland, rural space in America, there are more insects than there are people on the planet. If human beings left Earth, there'd just be way more trees and less buildings and less, you know, Starbucks and McDonald's and more plants and forests. So the planet would flourish. But if something as indiscriminate as people feel as like a worm or a bee or a wasp or an ant left, the planet would just be done within like a decade or so. So my obsession is to try and remind people that these things are really important. And, you know, I have fantastic interactions with these animals. I'm consistently fishing all manner of insects out of my pool, and I keep insects in my house, and I keep reptiles in my house. And, you know, I'll go out into my garden and I'll have relationships with the ants and the bees, and I'll have certain colonies that I'll have better relationships with than others that I just feel more of an interesting energy from, you know. And so I'm really excited to be doing that and kind of bringing that idea to people and changing the way people feel about insects, because, you know, lots of people just assume that when they see a bee, it's making a beeline, pardon the pun, it's making a beeline to their face to sting them in the face. And bees are not inclined to do that at all, you know. Bees just don't, they don't sting unless they're being pushed or crushed or killed, because a bee has it in its tiny little mind that if it stings someone, that's the last thing that it's going to do, because it will die in the next 2 or 3 hours. So, bees don't do that. They're sweet, amazing creatures, and they make honey. Hello, they make honey. That's amazing. Shouldn't kill an animal that makes honey. And everything that they make, we use. They harvest pollen. We use it. They make wax. We use it. They make this thing called propolis, which is really amazing for like cuts and diseases and stuff. And we use it. Everything that bees do benefits us. And for some reason, when we see a bee, we're like, oh, bee, a bee, a bee. But they're just coming to like check us out because maybe we're wearing a bright color, or maybe we're wearing a sweet perfume, ladies, sweet perfume. And bees like sweet perfume, So I'm going to go and hang out with some of the gnarlier insects, huge wasps and big ants that hurt you, and, arachnids, spiders and scorpions and stuff like that, and show that even though some of these things can be a little scary, the actual exchange of energy and the experience that I'm having is valuable and changes the way you think about planet Earth. I mean, you guys all know this. You guys are... I went to see Eddie Izzard at the Hollywood Bowl the other night, and he was, amazing man. And he was saying to the Hollywood Bowl, you guys are the people that are going to change things because you guys have the right ideas. And I think most of the people at Comic-Con have those right ideas. You guys are all kind of cool and groovy and probably, like to wear hemp. Did I answer that question? I'm not sure. Okay.
What was your experience on Chuck like?
Did I do Chuck? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that was really fun. I did that because, Josh Schwartz is a really fantastic, interesting guy in the business, and he had made motions towards my agent saying, we'd like to do something with Dom, and I think I'd just finished doing Lost, and I was, thinking what to do next, and it was more of a comedic, out-and-out comedic character for me, and I just kind of channeled my inner Liam Gallagher more than anything else, which was fun, because he's a big hero of mine. He's got great hair. And Josh and I became quite fast friends, we hung out a lot on the show, and you should ask Zach, you should ask Zach the next time he's up on stage about him coming to my house one night, and we hung out, and I just went off for about 2 hours about the natural world and insects and why it's important, and Zach's kind of sat there going, no, it's great, just whatever you want, just give me another beer, it's fine. I go, but it's so important, you need to do stuff, So that was kind of fun, and we have similar likes. He's into gaming, I'm into gaming, and he's tall, I'm short. And yeah, it was fun. I think for me, it was I don't know, 2 weeks of filming, something like that. It was in LA, and I'd never filmed in LA before, where I live, so that was kind of interesting to go backwards and forwards to work and sleep in your own bed at night. Yeah, it was a blast. It was really fun, and I think that's one of the reasons why I'm here, is because I then became friends with Zachary. I like to call him Zachary because then it feels like it's his mum talking to him,
How many tattoos do you have, and what is the significance of each one? And can you show us any?
Whoa!
Especially the Lord of the Rings one.
Well, you guys must have seen the Lord of the Rings one by now. Really? We entered into a pact. That's P-A-C-T, not P-A-C-K-E-D. Because what is a pact? What is a P-A-C-K-E-D? We entered into a pact, the people that got the rings tattoo, to try as hard as we can to not show the tattoo, just because it was something that was quite personal for us, and that's the reason why you probably not see it. But you can see it. I've seen it online. I've seen Sean Astin, who's a little dumb, show it to people. Some interviewer. It was the most asinine, Jason. My friend Jason used that word all the time. It was the most asinine kind of Jedi mind trick that the guy ever played to someone with Sean Astin, where we'd all said, no one show the tattoo, no one show the tattoo, right? We just keep it really private. And this guy came over to Sean and said, so Sean, do you want to show us your tattoo? And Sean went, oh no, I can't. And he said, well, Ian McKellen showed it to him. And Sean went, oh, okay, here you go. No further questions, Your Honor. You know, just like, oh, he did? Oh, right. So I don't know about showing you the Lord of the Rings tattoo, but you can see it online. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tattoos. So I have from bottom to top, unless you guys want top to bottom. Any preference? We'll go bottom to top. I have stars on my feet, which commemorate, I guess, a kind of dark year that I had in LA, coming out of that dark year into a slightly more present, nicer year. So one of the stars is black and the other star is white. So the black star is kind of the year that I just had, and the white star was the year that I was hopefully headed into, which I kind of was. It was kind of a white star year. And then what else? So bottom to top, I'm trying to do this in the right way. It all kind of starts here. So then I've got an Oscar Wilde quote on my arm, which says "Life imitates art," because I feel like it does. You know, I'm always kind of, I'm always around art, and I'm always interested in art. You know, I'm a music fan and a fan of, you know, painting and poetry and acting, obviously, and stuff like that. So I'm immersed in art, and I always find that the art that I am drawn towards tends to reflect where my head is at and the life that I'm living, and then that kind of changes at times as well. So the "Life imitates art" quote said something to me. Then I have the Lord of the Rings tattoo. Oh. I don't think that was even in reference to what I just said. I think someone just fell down the stairs and someone went, dropped her Skittles. So I have the Lord of the Rings tattoo, and then on my left arm I have a line from Strawberry Fields Forever: "Living is easy with eyes closed, misunderstanding all you see." It's kind of a line that just kind of said something about the way that I would want to live my life. You know, I feel like when you go through happy times, it's kind of easy to be present and aware and stuff, but I feel like when you go through bad times too, you need to be acutely aware of that stuff and explore it and examine it, otherwise it comes back later on as, like, you know, shitty stuff. I honestly feel like that stuff that you don't deal with, like if you get your heart broken, or you get, I don't know, something happens to your family or your friends, or something hurts you terribly and you don't deal with it, I honestly feel like that stuff comes back as, like, serious illnesses when you're older. I think that comes back as, like, you know, something that could potentially kill you because it's sat in your system for so long and it gets black and turns bad. So I try and get through that stuff in a way that is probably a little annoying for people that know me, because I'm just in it, immersed in it. So that's how I kind of live my life, or try to. And then, you know, I can show you this tattoo because this was on LA Ink. This was Kat Von D did that. There you go. They contacted me and said, you know, Kat wants to do your tattoo, and I'd become friends with Kat, and I said, yeah, let's do that. So I had this idea. I had busted up my elbow in a kind of toy fight, and it was a big scar here, and I wanted the idea that you could rip a small flap of skin, and underneath my skin was this quote, which is from a movie. Does anyone know what movie that's from? Close. I mean, it is the Star Wars world. Oh, it says, "Luminous beings are we, not this crude matter." Empire Strikes Back. It's when Luke is having a hard time lifting up the X-wing, because they're heavy, those things, you know. And Yoda says, "I can totally do it. Watch this." And it's when Luke is kind of losing his faith for everything that's, you know, kind of magic in the world and special. And once again, that quote kind of spoke to me. And then I have another Beatles quote on my back, because I'm a big Beatles fan. It was the last line. Yeah, they're good, aren't they? It was the last line that the Beatles ever sang from a song called "The End," and it says the love you take is equal to the love you make, which, you know, kind of makes sense to me too. And I'm a huge Beatles fan, lean a little bit closer towards Lennon than anyone else, but that's a McCartney line, and it's one of the McCartney lines that Lennon actually pointed out and said, you know, McCartney's a genius because he wrote this and he said this and he said that. So I thought, well, if Lennon liked something, I might want to concentrate on that. So, was that good? Did I do that? Good. There's a lot of tattoos around nowadays, isn't there? Like, everyone's getting tattooed. When Elijah and I got our tattoos, which is like 12 years ago now, it was still less people were getting tattooed than more, whereas I feel like it's almost 50% now of my peers have tattoos, you know. Anyway, sorry. Hi.
Hey, how you doing? So your photography, are you doing anything more with that, or because I know that you had that showing a few years ago. So can you talk a little bit about that, and if you're doing that for the nature thing that you're doing for the BBC?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I had a photography show 2 or 3 years ago now called Happy Accidents, which was really good, and some of the benefits of that benefited some of the proceeds of that, I should say, benefited a orangutan orphanage in Borneo, which is rad. So I take photos all the time. There's been an interesting thing that's happened with the iPhone, in the sense that I now carry around an iPhone, and it's a camera as well. So I find myself taking snaps with my iPhone more than my digital camera, and the quality on the iPhone isn't quite as good as the digital camera. So it's kind of like diluted it a little bit. But yes, on this trip that I'm taking for the nature show, I will be taking my camera, and I'll be taking a lot of pictures with that. So I'm sure there'll be some sort of exhibition that will happen based on the photos that I take on my trip. You know, I used to just carry my camera in my pocket because phones didn't have cameras on them. Now that they do, it's like, tough to carry 3 things. Although look at the size of these pockets. I could fit anything in them. I could fit Sweden in them. So yeah, I will be taking more pictures.
What media of acting do you like better, the stage, TV, or films?
I became an actor because of Han Solo and then Indiana Jones. You know, I loved. Yeah, it's good, isn't it? I loved the Han Solo character. And then once I saw Indiana Jones, I realized that it was actually a job. He wasn't actually just Han Solo, and they managed to have cameras there when it all went off. It was a performance, you know. So once I realized that that was the case, the acting thing got me. So I think movies is probably the most influential thing that made me become an actor, and still is. There is an amazing audience feeling that you get from doing theatre because it's immediate, and you know, it's like hanging out with you guys now. You can feel the energy, and the energy feeds you, and then you subsequently feed back to the audience, and it's cyclical, you know. So that's an amazing thing. I would say the most amount of pleasure that I get is split 50-50 between doing a play and being in the middle of something and feeling like you're doing a great performance and feeling that energy from the audience saying, yes, we agree, or that incredible moment of being in a cinema and the lights going down and the film starting and you happen to be in it. You know, that's a really amazing feeling too. So I couldn't really decide between those 2 things. It's a good question, though.
We have time for 2 more questions.
Oh, no, you guys.
No, I'm that guy.
Hi.
The disembodied voice.
Is it on? Well, hi.
Hi.
So I know you were born in Berlin. I'm guessing in the British sector.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I heard.
Otherwise, I'd have like a really distinct side part and then a moustache. Watch my movie. Watch my movie.
And I was told that you speak German. Is that correct?
Say again. I'm sorry.
I was told that you speak German.
I speak a little German, but
little?
don't test me.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I speak a little German. You know what I mean? Oh, well, you can ask me your question in German, and then
I'll translate.
because no one else will know, and I'll just answer whatever I feel like.
Meine Frage war, wie lange haben Sie in Deutschland gewohnt? How long did you live in Germany?
Oh, you didn't have to tell me that. I knew that. Damn it. Yeah, I was born in Germany, born in Berlin, to English parents who are from Manchester. My dad and mum moved to Germany when my brother was a baby and my mum was pregnant with me. And they did that because there was a program in England for teachers where they would send teachers to Germany because they needed teachers in different parts of the world, actually, to teach the army forces kids. And for that, you would have a great standard of life. You wouldn't have to pay a mortgage. They give you a house to, live in for a while, give you a car, you get paid well, you live in a different country. My mum and dad were a little adventurous at the time. They still are. They'll eat shellfish. They don't care. I mean, they might have an extra glass of wine if they feel like it, Just live on the edge. So they did that, and I lived in Germany until I was 11, coming back to Manchester 2 or 3 times a year, so I was very connected to Manchester. But I do love Germany. I have a real affiliation with Germany. And I can understand, like on the street, I can talk to people, and I can get by in restaurants and bars and hotels and stuff, but I couldn't talk to someone about, why I think the Russian Revolution was a bomber in Germany. Because it was a bomber, I've heard, It's hardly any food. It's cold.
Okay, good.
If you put your hand on the bottom of the mic.
Oh, yes, sorry.
There you go. No,
My
it's
bad.
all right. Don't worry about it. Disembodied voice out.
I'm not really a tech nerd. So you talked a lot about your love of nature, and you've shot in some great landscapes like New Zealand and Hawaii. I was just wondering, where your favorite places to either film or just to go to travel, and what it is you like about that.
I really like Thailand. I've been to Thailand 4 times. The food's amazing. The people are incredible. We have friends there. Elijah and I are friends with a lady who actually played Billy Boyd's Hobbit scale double. Her name is Fawn, and she lives in Thailand, in Bangkok. So she'll take us out when we're in Bangkok, which is great. There's amazing animals there. It's really cool. I've been to Vietnam. That's amazing. Cambodia's really cool. I like Australia. I have Australian family, and New Zealand's amazing. There's a lot of places that I haven't been, and as someone who likes to travel, I try not to repeat myself too much, I love tropical islands because there tends to be nature everywhere, and it's concentrated, so you don't have to go look for it because, they're all hanging out on that rock because they can't hang out in the ocean. So I do like islands, but I think up to now my favorite place that I've been is probably some of the islands off the coast of Thailand, where I went with Billy. I'll tell you this one story about Billy because it was really embarrassing. So Billy and I were in, I'll make it really quick. Billy and I were in Koh Samui, and there's an island off the coast of Koh Samui, which you can see from Koh Samui. It's about 20 minutes on a kayak. So we rent a kayak for the day, and we go paddling over to this island, and it takes us probably 35 minutes, something like that, getting over to the island, and we're paddling, and I'm at the back and Billy's in the front, and I see flying fish, and I go, "Look, Billy, flying fish," and Billy goes, "Where? So we get to the island, right? And there's one restaurant there. So we go into the restaurant, and we sit down, and we look at the menu, and Billy and I are, going to share something. And there's this dish which is raw shrimp in chili oil, super hot. So we order it, and the waiter comes over and says, "Are you sure you want this? Because it's really hot." And we go, yeah, we're fine. We like hot food. We like spicy food. And the waiter goes, "Okay, fine." He goes in. Then the chef comes out, and the chef goes, "Are you sure you guys want this? Because Western people don't tend to order this. It's really hot. You might not like it." And we said, "No, it's all right. We'll order it. If we don't like it, we'll still pay for it, and go ahead and get it for us." So we got it. It's like 10 butterfly filleted shrimp, raw, in chili oil. Amazing. Roasting hot, Thailand sun, sweating, all like eating all the chilies and stuff. So we eat that. It's fantastic. We get back in the boat, and about 5 minutes into our journey. Yeah, you saw this one coming, didn't you? Billy gets the shits. So we're in the boat, and Billy's like this on the side of the boat. Just in case something of an emergency nature were to happen. And I'm paddling, and I'm going, "Billy, you got to paddle, because if you don't paddle, we're going to go round and round in circles." So we make it to the coastline, and Billy can't wait any longer, and we drag the boat up, and he's like, I can't wait, you're going to have to take the kayak to the people and pay for it. And he runs to the hotel room, and he gets to the hotel room, and Orlando's with us, and Orlando's in the hotel room with a young lady. And Billy like puts the key in his nose, like, oh, Ollie, I just, no. So Ollie's date left pretty quickly after that. Make sure when you see Billy that you tell him that I told you guys that story. And make out like it was just you and I. It wasn't like a group, it was just like a very intimate thing between you and I.
And it wasn't live streaming to the rest of the world.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dominic Monaghan. Dominic Monaghan, one more time, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for coming, buddy. Thank you again, once again, everybody, for coming to the Nerd HQ. Thank you for spending money. Thank you for being here at the panel. Thank you for buying hats and shirts and everything that you do. There's beer, there's food, there's video games to play. Enjoy all of that. We'll see you the next couple of days here at Comic-Con. Enjoy. God bless. Bye.